Well, hey there, and welcome to Homa Academy Live. Hope you're all doing well. Hope your week has been good. We are back here today with a new roundup of the charts. We're going to look through the Google Play charts today, probably the iOS as well. And we're going to run down and take a look at all the games that are in the charts right now, just to keep ahead of the market here, just to keep our eye in. We're going to do this once a month. It's something we used to do here at the Academy on a pretty much a weekly basis, but I think a month is a good snapshot in time for us to go through. And obviously, if you're building games, you want to be ahead of the market and see what's being released and what's coming out, what's going up, what's going down, all that kind of good stuff. So yeah, hope you're doing well. What is up? Good to see everyone in the chat. What is up, Claire? Good to see you back, as always. A regular staple here at the Academy. And BJ, Elbow, Melek, Jilly. What's up, everybody? Let's jump straight into things today. And let's go over and take a look. So today we are going to use, I'm inside Homa Lab right now. So if you're not familiar with Homa Lab, we've got all sorts of tools. And of course, you've got the Academy inside of Homa Lab, which you should definitely check out for all training purposes. But we've also got the Market Watcher, which we're going to be using today to run down the chart. So you can sign up to Homa Lab and use this tool that we're going to be using today. Really good, handy to have it all in that one place. So Homa Lab's the only real place you need to go for your research and your training, of course. Not to mention to submit your games and test your games with us. So that's a cool thing as well. What is up, Elbow? Excited to be here. Oh, hello. What's happening with the chat there? That's really funky. Let's just fix this chat before we go. Excited to be here today. We know disturbance in the internet seems to be working fine now. Very cool indeed. So let me just have a quick look at what's happening with this chat here, because that is super weird for me. And I can't see what's happening. So let me just do this real quick. That seems to have gone super crazy on my side. 1 second. And let's do something like this. See if that is Diddy. Okay. Alright, 1 second. Nothing like a bit of live to keep us going on the straight and narrow today. Let's have a look at this. And then we will jump into things. So yeah, Homa Lab is what we're going to be using today. So make sure you go and check that out. And hopefully we should be good there now. So no problemo. Yeah, what is up? From Korea, great to see you here. So yeah, feel free to get your questions in throughout the stream today. We're going to be talking about some of the games, maybe thinking of some versions that we can do of them. We can see Monopoly Go, still #1 from Scopely there. Huge game release and all the rest of it. But we'll take a look at these. We've got the screenshot mode on here. You can see inside Homa Lab for the Market Watcher, we can go to a different view here where we can turn the screenshots off as well, which is really nice for a quick view. But for today's purposes, we are going to be making sure that we can see all the screenshots as we go down. And K-dramas. Who is K-dramas? Oh, okay, so that's still cutting off there. I'm going to fix this up. I'm really sorry. I've really got to do this. Here we go. There we go. Nothing like doing it a bit on the live. There we go. Wow, I'm not sure what was happening there. Okay, that'll do. All right, cool. So, Monopoly Go. Obviously, some of these games are going to be hard to take inspiration from in terms of the size and build of the game. These are the big hitters. This is top 200 charts, right? So obviously things like Monopoly Go is going to be a tricky one, but we've got a classic 2048 here, which is obviously kind of a surprise to me. So one of the things that we always look at here at the Academy is that most of the people that we know that obviously see the most success keep an eye on the market pretty tightly and know what's going on. So this is the idea today. So if you've got any comments or any games that you've seen within the top 200 that you like, do let me know in that chat, and we'll start digging into it a little bit. And obviously we got, so I thought it was a 2048, but it's a 2248. So that's a different variation on that classic game there. That's kind of nice. So I'm just going to be looking at the screenshots today. So if you've got anything you want to comment on, like I said, do not hesitate to get in touch and we'll talk it through today. Have you got an idea? Could you do a 2648? I don't know the maths on that, but you get my point, right? So this is to expose you to some new ideas. see what's happening and all of that. So Roblox, obviously, that is going to be hard to replicate. So we got a merge bullet here from Monday off. Let's have a look at this one. So it looks like a typical runner. Looks pretty juicy. Obviously upgrading the guns as we go along here. This one looks pretty nice. Looks like we're going to get a repeat of the screenshots there. So on Google Play you can add loads of screenshots, so that's why they're pulled in twice. But this looks very basic on the merge. Pretty cool though. Royal Match, one of my favourites. We can pull the videos in from here as well. So we can have a look at some of the videos if we see them, which is kind of nice. Subway Surfers. Unbelievable success, that one. Wordscapes, look at these games. Can't believe Monopoly is a top game in 2023. Now that's cropped on this side. Oh my god, let's look at this. I am determined to fix this today. This has gone super crazy. Okay. I'm gonna do it. I think that's a little bit small, isn't it? Alright, you can just about see that. Can't believe Monopoly is a top game in 2023. Was it released now or an old game that picked up now? No, this was a relatively new release from Scopely. Out just probably a couple of months ago now. But yeah, classic board game reimagined. I mean, if we look at the screenshots on that, you can see it's a a super duper version of it, right? Super fancy, high quality from Scopely there. Okay, so words count aside. Look at this real quick. Okay, very peculiar, that one. Each employee's unique story. Wow, that is weird. I did do it, I know. Still a little bit small though. This chat is really fun. It's really quirky, and there's no whatever I do, it always breaks it. So let's have a look at this one. So Block Blast Adventure Master. This looks very Tetrisy to me. So yeah, please do, if you played any of these games, let me know, because I'd love to know if you have and what you make of them, because I haven't played. I've obviously played some of these, but not all of them. So your insights here is as valuable as mine. This one's very Tetrisy, which is kind of an interesting one. Relaxing, addictive, interesting, play now. Okay. So the idea is, if you see any games here, obviously go onto the Homa Lab, you can download them directly from the charts, but you can simply type them in and go and download them. Might give you some ideas. Obviously, we've got a tackle here from Homa, produced by Redline. Very nice indeed. It's going to be one of the biggest games this year from us, which is kind of amazing. Still top 10, incredible. So, hide and go seek monster hunt. This is super cutesy. Some curious screenshots here as well. So it looks like they're showing off the shop here a little bit. Published by Koali, I believe, this one. Very nice. Oops. Trying to shut that down there. And you can see here, like some of these games here, the quality of these are like almost AAA mobile, right? Absolutely huge games. Fight as a team. Almost like Final Fantasy type stuff, this one. So yeah, you have to ignore some of my ignorance, because I don't know many of these games, and this is why I wanted to reintroduce the charts back into the stream, because it's really easy to lose track when we burrow down on our own stuff and we forget what's out in the market, and it's really good practice to make sure that we don't lose sight of all of this. Right, so pretty much everyone's played Tackle. Exactly. Elbow. Any quick tips for text in marketing assets? Yes. So let's prove the theory right. Inside the account, in actual fact, let's just see if I can do this real quick. So inside the Academy, and you go into get the basics here, and you'll see inside here I've got a whole screenshot section here, and I've got a video showing you how to do it. Even got a little Photoshop tutorial how to wazz them up a bit. But what you'll see here is the biggest point really is when you're adding strap lines and stuff. I collated all of the screenshots from tried and tested games from over the last few years, and what you'll find is that most of them, with their screenshots, when they're putting marketing strap lines on, you're looking at anything between 3 and 5 words per screenshot, right? So if we come back here now and have a look, so go and check that out. Well, let's look at Roblox, right? So welcome to Roblox. Join millions of experiences. That is a really weird English there. But I'm looking at the amount of words typically, right? Explore and discover together, be anything you can imagine. So anything between 3 and 5 snappy marketing text, Elbow, is what you're really looking to do. And if you see all of the bigger games here, they will almost certainly, for the most part, follow that system, right? So fight as a team. Now they've got some supporting strapline underneath the main sort of tagline there, but fight as a team, unique ultimate skill chains, spectacular high-res graphics, epic boss fight, and there we go, right? So essentially, that's what you're looking for. So you want to, on each screenshot, it's also good to almost have that as a separate onboarding as well. So if you've got, let's see what this one does, right? So the first screenshot on this one is kind of a little bit long, but massive pictures waiting for you to paint. Rich types. Wow, this is terrible English. Delicate color filling performance. Yeah, someone has translated this, and that is not very good at all. Let's find a better one. So there's Going Balls by Supersonic. That doesn't really need them. What I'm trying to find here is, and I will scroll back up in a moment. Okay, this one's a better example. So it's kind of you're doing some onboarding via the screenshots. You see this very mainly with application type stuff, but this one's kind of good. This word search explorer here. So play to de-stress, improve your IQ, unlock daily challenges, train your brain. Wow, train your brain and boost your IQ. So it's kind of giving you benefits here rather than features. And I thought it was going to say something else. So let's see if we can find it real quick. There must be something. All right, this one's a little bit better from Coin Master. Obviously a huge game. So you raid your villages, you attack their friends, you can win coins, you collect the pets, and you explore new worlds. And that kind of gives you an onboarding of the game itself. Does that make sense? Above Magic Tiles. Where was Magic Tiles? Okay, yeah. So 45 free songs, real-time battle, hot artists available, endless gameplay, climb the ranks. Right? But you can see there's not one here with loads and loads of text on it. So 3 to 5 words, 6 at a push, but I would keep it snappy and punchy and trying to distill the idea that you're really trying to get across in your screenshots. So Tomb in the Mask here, which is a knockout success under Plague Injury. 1980s comeback, enjoy new levels, fun faster in arcade, challenge yourself, join the Tomb adventure. Very nice. Choose your mask and level. Very cool indeed. So yeah, that is the biggest tip if you add in straplines. Alright. So let's go back up a little bit. So yeah, all the AAA type stuff here. Pretty much a colouring one, this one. Painting book, very nice. Supersonic, Going Balls, huge success, that one. Very nice. So I'm looking for games, newer games for me. just to see what we've got. Magic tiles, that is just, I can't believe how many downloads that must have had. Unbelievable. A lot of these anime ones in right now, right? So these are all following a very much produced artistic type thing for here. Always read the strap lines if I'm searching for a new game to play, says Jilly. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I like the ones that tell you what to do, and I like the ones that lead you through, because you get a real good feel of exactly what to expect. So there's a lot of value reward in understanding exactly what you're getting before you download, and I think they can really help reinforce your game. But these ones are the word ones are kind of obvious, I guess. It's when you get the almost more hyper casually like light hybrid, I think they can really help tell the story of the game. MLB probably wouldn't need any introduction. Brain test here. Help the captain. What is he doing? Oh boy. Find a missing prisoner. Find a dangerous object. She is in dangerous. Wow, okay. So here's a good example here. So Weaponcraft Run, developed by Aiden Games. I think this one is the sort of game that could benefit for some straplines. So it would sort of be like collect different weapons, make your choices to upgrade, collect the coins, and build your armory or something like that. And I think that's the sort of thing that you'll be looking to do on these more simpler games. And I think they could be really helpful in some cases. Obviously, when you've got a video like this, in fact, I'm going to click on the video here. Just go, oh, it's a short, okay. So I know that's kind of small on your screen, but that'll do for now. This is kind of neat. Oh, you're filling up the barrels there. Okay. So for me, I'm not sure I'd even put a video on this game because it looks, I would have sped it up for the App Store preview a little bit. It's a little bit dull for me, that one. But it's doing really well, so kudos to them. Another snake one that we saw kind of a boom in the snake sort of theme going on for free play there. Very nice. Can't believe there's a runner in the top 22. Yeah, well, we've got kind of two here. Got two runners there. So there's still room. How long they stick around for, obviously, is anyone's guess. But it's well worth checking these ones out and seeing if there's any unique takes on, is there something that you can reignite a runner where we are now. The inspiration from Attaco is pretty visible. Yeah. So this one here from Roshka, this is actually another game from us. But we got, so there's top 10 and top 25 for Homa right now, which is pretty neat. Because of the SS Snake ads. Yeah, exactly. So they've gone and riding that snake trend. This one looks like draw the line type thing. So draw creatively, infinite levels, rush to the toilet, interesting level design, avoid obstacles, solve epic puzzles. So that's pretty good, right? Have they got different ones all the way along here? And then it repeats. Okay. So yeah, it's kind of I think it's important to have these on here in terms of the strap lines, but again, 2 to 3 words. Then we've got Gardenscapes, one of the biggest games in the world, to be fair, from Playrix. Again, look at these 2, 2, 1, 1. So play mini games. That's interesting, isn't it? It's a bit of a wasted strap line there. Renovate, match. So again, there's more of an onboarding thing here. Renovate, match, follow the story, blast, design. Very fancy. Gives you a really good spread of what to expect though. we see, I mean, hands up in the chat who've seen an advert for pull the pin like game here. How many of these adverts have you seen in the last week if you've been playing any mobile games? Probably hundreds at this point. So we know people really like them when we see the marketing campaign for these games, which is probably why their first two screenshots are leaning into that. Especially when you click on an advert, the first thing you'll see is very close to the advert you've clicked on, so that ties it in. So it just makes sure that it doesn't feel scammy, right? Which is also really important. So if you're clicking on an ad and then get presented with a totally different game, the conversion rate can really drop off there. So that's probably why they've done that. But again, yeah, these ones not gone over 2 words. These ones, I'll follow the story. Okay, 3 tops. All right. Geometry Dash is still there from Rob Top Games. Unbelievable. 2013 that came out. Incredible. So Mob Control from Voodoo. Hyper-casualized up from them. A really great game, this one. But their screenshots here. They've done a fantastic job here. Really beautiful graphics, but crush the tower, multiply your fighter, fire, fight and crush, player v player, win the first world rank, build your diorama, unlock new dioramas, collect special cards. Very good. So that's awesome from Voodoo there. Really nice suite of screenshots. Very good. Shows you exactly what to expect. Very cool indeed. So good job. These ads makes me realise how far society has come from common sense. Well, yeah. There's no accounting for taste, is there? But you know it works. So that's the main thing. Paper.io2, another Voodoo game there. I actually really preferred their third version of that game. They built that so well. Didn't do so well for them, unfortunately. Again, smooth drawing experience. Conquer as much territory as possible. Collect the coins along the way. Avoid others. So yeah, typically these are the onboarding screenshots that I think work really nice. And obviously working well for them. Mob control was great, yeah. Tap away from popcorn. Play the video here. Don't think you've got sound, which is good. So in a puzzle game like this, I think video previews are way more important typically. This is pretty cool. No, it's the hand pointer there. CPI show next week, so you'll be able to check out Oleg's recommendations, how he pointed out before with the hand pointers like that. They've got it on the screenshots as well. So triple tile. Let's have another look at this. Looks like a mahjong thing. And someone let me know if you can hear you shouldn't be able to hear that. But if you can let me know if you can hear anything here, that would be super helpful. Nice. So in at 32 is triple tile. Very good. And I won't keep reading out all the screenshots, but you take my point. It's a thing, right? Tried and tested, works really well. Twerk Race 3D, is this still going, this game? Crikey, okay. Pretty hilarious. Tap away at its core is the same as that car puzzle where you release cars stuck at parking. Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't seen car parking 3D right now. I'm sure we'll come across it thanks Jules. I'm sure we'll come across it pretty soon. So this one has done so well for OneSoft. A classic shmup. Let's play the video here. I know it's kind of small for you guys, but just to give an idea. There it is. proper old school shmup there. Okay. So yeah, yeah, exactly, Elbow. So that content I wrote about screenshots was probably done about 6 years ago, if I'm honest. So that's it's an evergreen thing, but it still holds true today, and that's what we made sure inside the academy we give you evergreen content which is tried and tested, and yeah, never gets old. That all right. Alphabet shooter. And if you haven't already, and I just saw someone did, just hit that like button if you're liking what we're doing today. And of course, if you hit subscribe, you'll get notified next time we go live next week with the CPI show. So that's worth it. But yeah, show me you like this by clicking that like. Vote for me, as they do on the YouTubes. There was amazing NES game like Galaxy. Oh boy, yeah. There's been loads of those games, haven't there, Elbow? All right. So nice FPS here. Pretty dark though. Not sure how well this one will do long term, but looks pretty neat. Then we have the behemoth, which is Candy Crush Saga. And I just want to give a shout out to our team at Homa who organised. We actually had a talk from the founder, creator, and CEO, ex-CEO of King this morning, who created Candy Crush. And it was an amazing talk, and we'll be sharing some of that information of his insights along the way over the year. But incredible story. But yeah, he's one of the. He's got to be the OG of the App Store, really. So amazing. But Candy Crush. Oh, here we go. Look, explore the world. Right. Okay. So let's pick up the pace a little bit here. I think we might play a bit of a game as well today, maybe, if we see one of these that we want to have a go at. So if you see any games today that we want to play, something newish, we could definitely have a go at them. That could be kind of good fun. Who done it? So from Pandora Game Studio, I think this one here is published under Koali as well. This is kind of neat. Kind of like this one. Top 40 game. Wordle still kicking around. Merge Defense. Wow, this is a strange looking game, isn't it? Okay. Yeah. Number one game played by mums probably all over the world, I'd say, Elbow. And if you haven't said anything in the chat, knock Elbow off the crown there and just say hello. Tell me where you're from today as well. Where are you tuning in from? Super interested to hear what you got to say. This is super crazy, this one. Excuse me. This is really freaky. Okay. Really nice lighting in this scene though. So I don't know what this one is. Merge Defense. Ban Fusion. Okay. Pretty curious. Survivor.io. Holding on for dear life there. A game about farting. People are really grinding their creative brains for ideas. Well, yeah, exactly. My Talking Tom. Another staple of the App Store, as is Pull the Pin. So up their screenshots somewhat. Pretty cool though. Fashion Battle, that's been around for quite some time, that game. Save the Doge, okay. Super high quality Gangster City here that's been around. I don't know if this is a remake or an old one, but this looks very GTA-y. If that is a... I mean, do we think this is real? This quality here looks sensational. It's basically Grand Theft Auto. We're doing super well at number 48. Is this for real? Unbelievable. Most defences use the type of fidelity mix. Yeah, exactly, Elbow. Exactly, sir. Happy colour, colour by number. So we've seen a couple of colour by numbers. We'll go through, and like I said, we'll pick the pace up a little bit. I want to get a feel of what sort of games we're seeing. Certainly, we're seeing now the hyper casual is slipping away, and the casual and hybrids are certainly cementing themselves here in the charts. Idle Tycoon looks like a clicker type thing. Lots of painting, right? Heyday, oh my goodness. Supercell Classic. Cars. More sort of Final Fantasy. Scribble Rider from Voodoo, oh my goodness. That is a very old game, but kudos to them. So, Sniper 3D, very realistic graphics there. Super smart. Pokemon Go. My Talking Angela, like the Tom game. Snake.io. Star Trek, so big games. Jigsaw puzzles. Avatar World Game. What's this one? Wow, that is super kiddie. Okay. Kick the Buddy. Dice Dreams. How about having a play with Supersonic's Camo Sniper? Oh yeah, we could do. I mean, we played that last week on the ideation, didn't we? Could do that. More brain training, so I'm going to pick this up now. Animal Wildlife. That looks kind of neat. There's a Hitman game based on sniping also. Okay. Able Paul by Miniclip. There's Parking Jam. Now that's normally up higher if I'm honest, but got a really weird icon here. Very odd. I'm not sure if that's right or not. Toca Life, are they still going? Crikey. So more puzzly type cartoons. Armor Notes with Tiles Hop. Again, that's a super old game. Super Mario. So we're not seeing a lot of new games in this in the top here. Slow Mo Run. Wow, okay. More Word. Storm Shot. That looks like the mini games or like Hitman Sniper game, right? Okay. Another space game there. So that's the second space one. Now you were saying before, Elbow, on the space theme. I couldn't think of any. We've seen two. 2 out of 100's not a great theme though. FIFA. Crowd Evolution by Rollick. Dress Up. Tetris. Hold.io. More Talking Tom. Stumble Guy still there. Pressure Washing by Rollick. Okay. Collect 'em all by Voodoo. It looks like they've added a ton of content into this game as well. We released a game like this 100 years ago. So bizarre. Yeah, they did do quite a good version of Super Mario Run, didn't they? It was pretty good. Township, so farming and collecting game. Drill and collect. Okay, what's this one? So very much on the lines of Brick Breaker from Voodoo, this one. But I've got a collecting. Hey, hoover it up. That is so small for me as well, guys. I can't be bothered to make it bigger. But this is kind of cool. So you get more stuff as you go down. I know it's hard to see on your screen. Your ideas were more arcade idol, but involved in another dimension. Oh, blimey, that sounds complicated. But fair dues. Bridge race still kicking. What is up in the beer? Piano Star. Very much on the Armor Notes vibe. Bubble shooters. The free version or the light version or a different version. Sub-Zero. I'm not sure what the difference is on this Geometry Dash, to be honest. Kick the Buddy remastered. Fishdom still there. Merge Monsters. What's this one? Okay. Not sure what that one is. Sword play. Oh, this is an old game as well. From Azure. This is the flying sword, right? Yeah. Control system in this game was really nice. So maybe there's a version of this that could still do well. Great camera work on this one. Pretty cool. Slash and slice. More colouring. More brain teasing. So say games with Race Master here. This is a landscape game, isn't it? No, okay. So great racing game from Say Games here. Dropped down a little bit. Was doing a lot better than this. I think it's doing a little bit better on iOS. But a super quality racing game there. Plenty of content. Very good. So let's go down a little bit further. Is that from like the Netflix thing? Seem to think this Viking thing's a Netflix series. This Sword game was like a different take on Fruit Ninja. Yeah, exactly. This chat's gone super bonkers as well, isn't it? Let's see if we can do this. Do this a little bit better. Yeah, it was. Did I just totally break it? I am not doing very well here today. Oh, I changed the wrong thing. Oh my goodness. Alright. Let's try that. You can just talk amongst yourselves while I fix my life here. There we go. I think that might be a bit better. Alright. So I think this is from the Netflix series. Family Island, another builder there. Good sort. Wow, that looks super complicated, that one. Okay. There's a lot of items on that. So, Matchmasters, I'm going to run right down here and we can try and get a vibe of the whole lot at this point. Just going to type something garbage in that chat, see if that's coming out again. Okay, so Plant versus Zombies. Oh, wow, okay. Tangled Snakes. Basketball. Paperfold from Good Job. That is an old game. Garena Free. That's been around for 100 years. Among Us, still there. Toolman Run from Supersonic. So we're not seeing a huge amount of hyper in here, which I think is reflective of what we've been saying since around, well, for the best part of a borderline a year at this point. Cyber Surfer, that is a very old game. This is a cool game, one. Pretty intense. Kind of a neat game. So it's got a Beat Saber vibe about this one. Kind of fun. Let's stop that because that's very loud for me. But really nice set of screenshots again. More drawing and puzzles. DIY from Crazy Labs. Very much like the Voodoo style game, that one. This looks like a huge game. Building, very nice. Baseball. There's some really old games still floating around in the charts. Just goes to show that good core games have sticking power. Yes, they do, exactly. And I think what we're really seeing that right now is that the old staples are coming not coming back, but never like they stuck around is what I was trying to say. Eat Venture, which is we tipped this game when it first came out that it'd do well, and it's exceeded my expectations. How far off in the game ranks does a game remain profitable? Well, it all depends. Just because your game's not in the top 200, um, if your CPI is low and you can get players, even small games can be profitable. It's just whether or not it's profitable enough for the machines behind a publisher like Homa or one of the other major publishers. But you know, you can have a self-published game that um, can earn you a decent amount of money. There's a lot of games that are super popular that you'll probably never see in the top charts, but they have whales spending money in the in-app purchases, and they have dedicated users, and they earn money. Ball Up from Voodoo, that was cool. That game. Call of Duty, Mario Kart, Disney. Another random one here. It's kind of super random. Merge Archers from Azure, pretty nice. Solitaire. More of these sort of cartoony type ones. And I know I'm kind of just talking over this a little bit. I'm just trying to get a feel of things. So PUBG, 2-player challenge. This looks kind of fun. Loads of mini games. Oh, 60 games. Super cartoony. I'd definitely be downloading this one and see if there's any sort of you could expand on some of these mini games. I bet the mechanics are quite good. So I kind of let's watch the video. That's like Hungry Hippos. Okay. All right. So super simple. Spy Hunter. Okay, so these are super basic. Wow, tic tac toe. Okay, but that one's doing. Oops, that's doing pretty well. So more tiles, Uno board game, more puzzly with the cartoons. Kind of a Roblox slash Minecraft sort of clone. Project Makeover. So quite heavy on the puzzles. Here we go. Idle Lumber Empire. All right. Game Veterans. Okay. Well, I'm definitely playing a game very similar to this right now from Game Veterans, so we might check that out. Burger Please, which is Arcade Idol from Super Sen. Doing pretty good on iOS. Coffee Stack, which is a front-loaded runner. Crazy Labs with their DIY locker. That's a nice one. I don't think I remember this game. Crazy Labs obviously do their simulation games so well. BitLife, more drawing. Fruit Ninja. Okay. Alright, so we got. There is no way we've been going 45 minutes. Alright. So should we have 15 minutes on a game? What do we think? Give me a +1 in the chat. But I think we've got a feel of things here. Hoarding and cleaning, very nice. So we can see at the top of the charts there, the staples are old. Yeah, Crazy Labs. Woohoo! Nice one, Stefan. Yeah. Absolutely the masters of sim, for sure. Quality of those simulation games are unbelievable. Incredible. Alright, hair dye. Wow. So we're not really seeing many hyper casuals in here. We're seeing a lot of the classic puzzle games. What is that, Frantic? Late to the party? Yeah, just having a run down the charts. We haven't done this in a while. Gonna just keep an eye in and just do some checking out of what's in the charts and what's up and what's down. We can definitely see some trends here. in terms of the genres and the style, with puzzle almost certainly overcoming everything, I would say, today. Less hyper casual than we've seen in a long time. That Legend of Slime did so well, and it seems to have dropped away quite quick. That's surprising. Fair few runners, maybe 10% of the top 200, maybe 10%. Yeah, maybe. But mostly we're seeing puzzles and a lot of the old classics. A lot of word, a lot of brain teasing. That's the third Tetris type game. Some painting is quite popular right now. Fair few simulation makeovers. But yeah, I would say predominantly this style of artwork right now is working really well, right? I found the top of the iOS charts especially to be very stale and dominated by the large-scale publishers, sadly. Well, that you beaten me to it. You're late to the party and stole my thunder, so thanks very much. But yeah, we're seeing a very static array of games here, not dominated by the old classics, I would say, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it looks like it's leveled the playing field of probably 4 years ago when we'd see this very often indeed. I'll run there from Voodoo, but I'm thinking puzzle is working super well right now. That's all I'm seeing. Yoga workout. Wow. Okay. Zoomer there. Doom. Oh, okay. Looks like an arch hero type thing. And card. All right. So that was the top charts. I think for the most part, if you've got any if you got any thoughts on that, do you agree with me that we mostly saw puzzles today? And a lot of this sort of artwork here, where we've got the sort of cartoony type style, almost Family Guy style of cartoony. No worries. Why do you think that is? Are hyper-casual publishers struggling to change, or are Apple just more inclined to push games that make them money? So there's two different things there. Apple have got nothing to do with the pushing these top charts. These are literally dictated by download numbers. It's as simple as that. And a lot of these charts, once you have a game that's amassed a ton amount of downloads, there is a weighting system, weighting as in heavy weight. So things like, if you remember back in the day, things like with huge amounts of downloads like Color Switch and things like that, going right back when, or really old games, if they got 10,000 downloads today, they'd probably go up to top 40 because the downloads is scaled and weighted. So you get a lot of old games that are able to stay there because of the sheer weight of downloads historically, and that's where you take it would need a lot of consistent downloads to stay in the charts and become sort of harder to move. And this is when we look at the paid charts. You see, if you go into the paid charts, they rarely move because the games have been downloaded so many times. It's really hard to interject enough downloads into the paid section to really make a move on paid games. Why do I think it is in terms of, I'm just going to move this thing here. So yeah, it's nothing to do with Apple pushing games up and down the charts. The Apple can only control the featuring, which is they are more likely to feature games that are in-app purchase heavy, which obviously make them money. They're a storefront and they're going to push things that are profitable for them, as well as trying to give everyone a fair crack of the whip and exposure as well. Hyper casual publishers struggling to change. I don't think that is a thing. There's a lot of talk about our hyper casual publishers struggling to change and all the rest of it. And I don't think that's particularly true. I think what we found is a fatigue in the games themselves, and the market is demanding is slightly it wants more than the pick up and play snackable games. The appetite has gone for those for the most part, but there's still very much room for a really great core loop to start its life as a hyper casual game, and if we can quickly iterate on that, it's got a chance to stick around. So that's my take on it. I don't think they're struggling to change. There is changes, of course, but I don't think it's that. A good game will win. A good game will win, and that's it, really. It's more like preferring stagnant culture over the revolutionary stuff. Yeah, there's some truth to that. Lots of puzzle games. Apple still push recommended titles. Rarely see hypercasuals being pushed by them. That's always been the case, to be honest. They want in-app purchase heavy games, Frantic, because they make their money there. They don't make a single penny off adverts, right? They used to when there was the old iAds years ago. But yeah, they want in-app purchase heavy games with track record, so they take their 30%, right? Colette says, find the cartoons. I'm going to flick over to the iPad real quick and we'll find something to play. Before I forget, everything's around the other way here today, so give me a sec. Let's just pull up something I've got on here. Something we haven't played for a while. King or Fail, Idle Breaker. Oh, we can play this one. Let's just go into my settings real quick. Let's just turn that on. Let's go back. We'll have a couple of rounds of this, as Julie suggested. I find the cartoon style looks like bad clip art from back in the day, says Colette, and I couldn't agree more, Colette. It's not something that does anything for me, but we see Lion was a really big component of using that for a long time in their games. And even Lion went back to like the old, what was their draw ones they did? I forget the name of those, but it was horrible graphics. But people tend to like it for whatever reason. Perhaps hypercasual come full circle and love to play more simple 2D story. Well, I actually think there's some truth to that, Frantic Thumbs. I think what's happened is we saw the mad rush and we were absolutely flooded by hypercasual, and it gets to the point where the App Store comes in waves and people just want something new. And I think it's different is better than good, right? I think you could see the 2D games coming back. That's why we're seeing a lean towards the more realistic graphics now doing better, because they look different and they're being pushed by the publishers, which means more people are seeing the adverts for them. So I think that's definitely 2D story driven puzzle games that's probably why. It's just about the change in ad and privacy policy. Well, the ATT stuff, it definitely had an impact on the hypercasual business model. There's no disputing that, but I think it goes deeper than that as well, personally. CPIs are too high, so the margins aren't there. But at the same time, all the publishers are looking for higher LTV, and that's where the real game, like the Candy Crushes and that, they're so stable, and that really what every publisher is looking for is a game that can be worked on for years, right? Rather than the throwaway snackable games that we've seen of late. That would be my take on it. Let's just play this. 2D games, yeah, I think it's around February in the entire. Yeah, that's right. I'm not sure the entire top 20, but I get your point. It was a lot, wasn't there? And this is we ended up the other week on this one, on Colette's night vision that she called it before we saw it. So this is cool. I think it's a bit random playing this game now at this point, so we might start to wrap that up now. In fact, I am going to start to wrap that up now because it's kind of random playing the game. I think next time around we'll probably choose one to pick. We will choose a game that we see that we haven't played, or I'll pick out one of the games of the week that is on the Discord, which if you haven't done so already, go overhead and join us on the Discord where I'm posting up all the new games that I find throughout the week. So yeah, overall, that's really good conversation there in the chat. So I super appreciate everyone getting involved. Do hit me a like on the video if you want to see some more of this sort of show. I think it's worth going over the charts because I think we just realised that, okay, looking at the charts right now, what are we seeing that is making an impact? definitely 2D sort of puzzle, I would say. So there's definitely room to hyper casualize some of these puzzles. Think how you can add some meta to go more hybrid. So light hybrid puzzles, I think, would be a really good place to start. I'm going to turn my iPad off here. But overall, I think it's pretty interesting stuff. Simulation was still pretty strong. Elbow says there are many games that are in your old list amongst idle. There are many games that are in your old lists among arcade idols and light hybrids. Yeah, correct. Happy Glass, Jules. Random, yeah. So Happy Glass was another one from Line that Colette was saying looks a bit like clip art. That did super well back in the day. But yeah, that was horrible graphics, but did so well. Which were in the list but didn't make it. I see what you mean, Elbow. Sure, we can choose one of those. Maybe if you let me know over on Discord, right? You've got to help me out and tell me if you want to see one of those games. We can create a thread and we can vote for it next time around. But overall, it's really good to keep an eye on the charts. When we were building games, we were on this store 10 minutes a day. We'd have a look at the charts and see what was going on and keeping our eye on everything. And I think it's really interesting to see what the market is doing and make sure that, okay, are you building a hyper casual runner right now? Because, this is telling us that not many of the hyper casual runners are going to really work unless you've got a unique twist. Could you change what you're building or whatever's coming next to be more in line to what we see in the market? Can you create something? I'm just going to flick back real quick to that because I want to find some sort of example here. Could we do, I mean, the Tetris is a bit of a weird one, but could we look at something like, Balls and Remote's pretty new. What was one of these? I'm never going to find it now I'm looking, am I? There's a lot of merge around as well. Ooh. Let's just see if we can find something. Match free, Candy Crush, obviously. Shmups. Simulation. Few car games, not that many. Just trying to think. Arcade Idol there. It's pretty nice. So cleaning always does well, doesn't it? Tap blocks. So yeah, they're more puzzle. And this was... So here we go. So let's end up on this one. So it's super random, but Draw to Smash Logic Puzzle by Hypercell. For me, I think an easy fix here would try and maybe improve the graphics on this one. What do you guys think? Do you think there's a quick win here to potentially see if you can make a slightly nicer looking game here? Don't copy this one. That is not what I'm saying. But I think when you see games like this, these are the ones that are kind of interesting to download and say, okay, this is really nothing to look at. And no offense, Hypercell, if you're watching this, I'm not here to flame you. But what is it about this game that people are liking? So no doubt here you're drawing the shapes to eliminate these little yellow baddies here or something. We've seen a few games like this, potentially from Line, if my memory serves me. But yeah, what is this something you could say, okay, well, I like the idea of this game. The core mechanics obviously popular a little bit for being in the charts. Dive deeper into the stats. Is this brand new? Did it go up or down? Did it hang around for a bit? Is this something that you could recreate and add your own twist on it, but make it look nicer? I agree about the publishers seeking the game with huge LTV Candy Crush appeal. I feel the problem for me is convincing players to spend money with publishers known for hyper casual snackable games. That's really interesting, Frantic Thumbs. I would definitely argue that players do not care, and any publisher loyalty is almost zero. Honestly, I wonder how many people if the survey in 100 people in the street, can you name the publisher behind Candy Crush? How many people would know the answer? Would be an interesting thing. I wonder how many people. What's the trying to think of another example, but you get my point. I'm not sure brand loyalty is huge on mobile, even for the biggest games on the stores. Does that make sense? What do you reckon? Do you think that's a fair comment or not? Do you think your mum playing Candy Crush who knows who it's developed by? All of us will of course, but you know, who's the developer of Temple Run? Who's the developer? I can't think of any. Can't think of any big games right now. I'm going to cheat and see if I can find something in this top chart. And let's do a quick test. I think publisher loyalty amongst players is not a thing. Exactly, that's my point. Okay, so that is a terrible example. Well, Royal Match, right? Royal Match, one of the biggest match-free games that have come out, followed the Candy Crush model. Absolutely did not innovate on the gameplay at all, just produced a highly polished game, and probably where they did innovate a little bit is on the meta. Who made Royal Match one of the biggest games that's come out in the App Store over the last 18 months? Temple Run was made by a couple within a week's time. Yeah, actually, an acquaintance of mine used to be in a mastermind with those two people, and they absolutely smashed it. So yeah, that is true, Elbow. If a player has £5 to spend, they will probably spend it on Clash Royale rather than Voodoo's Mob Control. Well, maybe, but Clash Royale is a totally different. What happens if Voodoo buy Clash Royale? I think it's more about the polish. That's my point. I just don't think people care who it's made by. That would be my point, but I might be wrong. Gilly says players don't care who made the games; they just know how they like to play them, and that's it. Yeah, I agree. I just don't think. And of course, with Apple, even though it is a faff to get your money back, you can always get your money back, right? Maybe it's all about the polish. Frantic, I think it's all about the polish and the quality of game and how hooked you are, right? And how much you like the game. That's where the difference is, right? That's the main rub for all of this, is that the switch between the ad model and the in-app purchase model is that you need decent gameplay and deep meta for people to spend their money, right? That's the difference. Game is different, but hyper-casual publishers are chasing that same money. I think the hyper-casual publishers, as Homa and the Voodoos and all the big publishers, the top 5, which I hold us clearly in that space, will win, because we have insane talents on the creative and the marketing. And what's happened before, it was all pushed towards hyper-casual, but now, after years of distilling and perfecting the art of marketing, I think you'll find that the hyper-casual publishers and Homa being at the forefront of that is really going to disrupt the casual and hybrid casual market. I truly believe that. Alrighty, so last couple of questions. Royal Matches by Dream, says Jilly. You're absolutely right. They did create a clone called Mayor Match, which was a blatant rip-off. Maybe we should cover how to make games look polished and AAA, and bring some people from home or some partner studios in with their tech artists and stuff. That is a great suggestion. I am writing that down as we speak. We do have a ton of new things coming up next week. July. No, wait, hold on. Is it next week? In the next 2 weeks, forgive me, because we're moving things around here. We have Augustine coming on with an attack hole deconstruction with all the stats and everything. So that is coming in the next week or so. Oh no, CPI show next week. That's right, CPI show next week. Give us a thumbs up now if you want to see the CPI show. Of course you do. So that'd be fun. Oleg's coming on with his presentation on how to create better CPI videos for you. Then the following week is Augustine with Attack Hole, and we have Ivan from our creative team coming on and talking about how to clean your code up for videos and stuff, which is super. So we've got some really cool stuff coming up for you guys. We are upping our game here as you expect us to do so. I am just, I am going to screenshot that because I can't be bothered to write it down. But that's a great suggestion, Elbow. Give me 1 second. Stop typing, everyone. There we go. All right. So Frantic says he's going to scratch his head and see what to add to the game I'm working on. Well, this is exactly, and honestly, my job here is done, Frantic, because this is why we do it and this is why we talk it through. That's why I waffle on so much, because we just talk it through and we just want to try and agitate the way you think, just challenge what you're doing right now. We've looked at the market. That's what's winning right now. How can you adapt and make sure your game deserves to be next to one of those games we looked at today? Homa and Supersonic are the current kings of UA right now. Yes, this is true. And you can just tell by having, well, obviously we've got Attack Hole in the top most downloaded game in the world for the first quarter, still headed up top 10 at the end of May. So still top 10 after 6 months. Oh my goodness, it just we are crushing it, and that's why we are here to make sure that you come and partner with us, right? Let's face it, because we got the skills and we want to see your game in our portfolio. I can't get emojis to work. Frantic thumbs up. Nice one. All right, I'm going to start saying goodbye. Thank you, everybody. Do give me a thumbs up on the video. I do love to see that. It does help me understand if you're liking this or not. And yeah, we are back next week with a CPI show and more good things to follow. So with all that said and done, that is going to wrap it up from me today. Have a great weekend. If you're in the UK, enjoy the extended weekend. If not, you don't get Monday off and we do. So that's it. All right. Thank you, everybody. Great to see you. Thank you for all your comments today. Much appreciated. I will come back next week. And if you want to talk to us, come over and join us in the Discord. And don't forget to join Homa Lab, and you too can have a look at the Market Watcher and take a look at the charts yourself. All right. That is going to wrap it up for me for now. Have a great weekend, everybody. Remember, Jilly, games don't make themselves. See you later, guys. Take it easy. Bye-bye.